community members in as we speak. And so looking forward to hearing from so many members of our community who are gracing us with poetry evening to warm up our community on this. Well, it wasn't such a cold night, but we're getting ready for snow tomorrow. So we can imagine the snow coming our way and the poetry and hot chocolate and all those good things coming together.
Well, it is wonderful to look around this Zoom room once again on a Friday night and see you all. And I know that many of you are tuning in on Facebook and on YouTube and on our temple website. And we send out a warm hello to each one of you. And welcome to our annual Winter Solstice Poetry Shabbat. This is one of my favorite services because I do love this time of year so much, with the quiet and the dark, and with snow hopefully coming tomorrow, a little bit of snow anyway coming tomorrow. And I feel like in this time we have this opportunity in the quiet and in the dark to let the words of poetry just get into our souls, and to hear it read by members of our own community who have volunteered to share either poetry that they've written or poetry that they love. And so we want to begin with a thank you to our poets who will be participating in tonight's service. We are at the beginning of a full moon cycle. The moon is large and shining. And how beautiful it is that we can gather in this Zoom room, in this sacred online world, to say how beautiful this day is. To get a deep breath. Mah Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom, Mah Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Mah Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom, Mah Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. And of course, what this time of year means is that on Tuesday, on the 21st, right around, I think right before 11 a.m., solstice happens, which means the light only gets longer from here. We've almost made it through the darkest time of year. And so let's add more light. If you have your Shabbat candles, take them out, get your matches ready. Sandy will light on behalf of us all. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlek ner Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We begin with our first poem.
Hello. I think you need to have a little background about this poem. We have a tradition at Shir Tikvah, not a long tradition, of sharing poems on Hanukkah. You sign up and you send somebody a piece of artwork on Hanukkah. And I've done this for a couple of years. I have a poem that I wrote a good 10 years ago about Hanukkah. It's a sort of an anti-war poem, and I've been sending it to people. So this year I signed up, and I found out the person who I was supposed to send a poem to was 8 years old. So I figured that the poem I had, anti-war poem, a lot of references to the book of Maccabees, that was not appropriate. So I wrote a new poem, and this is the poem on Hanukkah. The Shamas reached down from the sky. The first candle sent its flash into a dim nook. The second candle gathered green from a forest. The third candle juggled 6 balls upon a lively flame. The fourth candle swam a rippling lake to feed the minnows. The fifth candle picked up old pennies and passed them to strangers. The sixth candle stood up and whispered thanks to the beasts and prayed. The seventh candle took up the noise of an enormous crowd that cried and chanted. The eighth candle gathered all the candles and blessed them and raised them to the sky.
Fantastic. Thank you, Andy. So let's go with that theme of adding light and sing together. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Take it around the world with me, I'm gonna let it shine. Take it around the world with me, I'm gonna let it shine. Take it around the world with me, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Cover it up with a barrel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Cover it up with a barrel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Cover it up with a barrel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. You can't my little light out, I'm gonna let it shine. You can't my little light out, no, I'm gonna let it shine. You can't my little light out, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
So I'm going to read a poem by Maggie Smith called Rain, New Year's Eve. The rain is a broken piano playing the same note over and over. My 5-year-old said that. Already, she knows loving the world means loving the wobbles you can't shim, the creaks you can't oil silent, the jerry-rigged parts MacGyvered with twine and chewing gum. Let me love the cold rains plinking. Let me love the world the way I love my young son, not only when he cups my face in his sticky hands, but when roughhousing, he accidentally splits my lip. Let me love the world like a mother. Let me be tender when it lets me down. Let me listen to the rain's one note and hear a beginner's song.
Thank you, Amy. So let us all listen in for that beginner's song, that new melody, Shir Chadash. And let's sing it out to the earth. Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Barechu Shemo, Basaru miyom liyom Yeshu'ato, Shiru Ladonai.
I'm going to read a poem that my daughter wrote that she wanted me to read for her this evening. Being forced to grow up is hard, but being forced to be young is impossible. Needing to own up to things makes life better, makes life bitter. But to have any sweetness, you need that bitter. You need those moments when you feel young and proud again. You need those moments when you feel like you are really living. Just keep swimming, like the movie Nemo says. Life is hard and mean and scary, but it can also be fun and spontaneous and surprising. There is always a bright side, but there has to be a dark side to see that. Just find a reason to keep going and make sure that that reason will make you feel young and proud and happy. Find something that makes you happy and stick with it. Find people who make you you. Find loves in life to stay.
I love that line. Find loves in life to stay. So come, friends. Come, loved ones. Lecha Dodi. Let's welcome the presence of Shabbat together. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad hishmi'anu el hameyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad Shem utiferet belit hila Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcham ki mekor haberacha merosh mikedem nisucha sof ma'aseh b'machshava techila Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela hit oreri kiva orech kumi ori shir daveri kevod Adonai alayich nigla Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela Bo'i v'shalom ateret bala gam b'simcha u'v'tzachola toch emunei am segula Bo'i kala Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekavela.
Okay, I think I'm next. Pandemic prayer. It starts here with Cat Stevens singing, so I'm going to sing this line. I listen to the wind of my soul. Please, permission to escape into the smaller world, the bigger world, pulse and breath of the day, movement in my body, space around me, snow, light on the snow, wind in my soul. Like a prayer, I guess, this listening, this not wanting to hear chaos, but instead to feel treasure, touch in, settle. And it's hard to discern the difference between denial and self-care. The need for both sometimes in the busyness of the day, actually not so busy. It's the uncertainty and vigilance I need a break from. Sometimes denial is like a warm blanket, keeping out the relentless. I turn on the news, find out what I need to know, or I sit within the blanket, listen to the wind.
Amen. Thank you, Sarah. I listen to the wind of my soul. Where I'll end up, where I think only God really knows. So I call on the light of my soul to help me find my way back home. Barechu, dear one, Shekhinah, holy name. When I call on the light of my soul, I come home. Barechu, dear one, Shekhinah, holy name. When I call Shekhinah, holy name. When I call on the light of my soul, I am home.
Creating nuance. God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw the light, that it was good. God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. There was a setting, there was dawning, one day. Light and dark were once one before their separation in service of creation. God surely intended nuance when separating the two. In the middle of the night, we find the golden glow of a full harvest moon, twinkling iridescence of billions of stars, the faint red of Mars in the sky. In the brightness of day, we seek the shade of an old oak tree, respite in a sheltering, dank, dim cave, eyelids shuttered for a well-earned nap. Very little in creation, its ensuing evolution, turns out to be black and white. Sometimes shades of gray emerge, or the full spectrum of a rainbow, even colorful dreams in the fulsome dark of night. We who were made in God's image must strive to take time, make a concerted effort to eschew extremes, and it will be good.
Thank you, Audrey. Breathing in all that good. Ve'ahavatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch ata Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. We continue with the words of Ve'ahavta, itself a poem. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadivarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha vidibarta bam beshivtecha bevetecha uvlechtecha vaderech uveshochbecha uvemecha ukshartam laot al yadecha vehayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvish arecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai ve'item kidoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim Lihiot lachem lelohim, ani Adonai Elohechem. And our song of redemption, song Moses and Miriam sang, the crossing of the sea, and imagining the joy from being released from a tight, from a narrow, from a scary place.
Elim Adonai, mi kamocha, nedar bakodesh, nora teilot, oseh vele, nora teilot, oseh vele, yai rai 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 rai, yai rai 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 rai, yai rai 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 rai, yai rai.
So on Wednesday night, this 2 nights ago, our Hebrew High students co-wrote a poem for tonight's service. Ranging in age from 14 to 17, they contributed phrases, quotations, visions, questions, and statements about how they are experiencing life these days, what they've learned, how they've managed the difficulties, the joys, the challenges, the bitter, the sweet. I'm honored to read their raw, sometimes painful, and very honest wisdom that came forth from that evening. I read it on behalf of the 8 students who participated. I begin with a quote from Rilke. "Let everything happen to you, beauty and terror. Just keep going. No feeling is final." Everyone in the world got tired of small talk. Though it was overwhelming, the big issues were finally addressed. It became harder for people to ignore the problems we face. And from a movie, you know what's great about hitting rock bottom? There's only one way left to go, and that's up. What good is the warmth of summer without the cold of winter to give it sweetness? In a time when nothing is working, we've learned to work together. Xenophobia seems to be bigger in schools after the peak of the pandemic has passed. The issues have always been there, but they only have become more apparent. If things get difficult, I try to find a petty reason to keep going. I can see both sides of the story now. I feel older than my years. We are not comparable to any other generation. There is no other generation that has been through what we have. I have noticed that people from other generations have minimized our experiences. We are the music makers. We are the dreamers of dreams. We are not okay. Sometimes I lay under the moon and thank God I'm breathing. And then I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for
for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'hamidenu Malkeinu Hayim Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'hamidenu Malkeinu L'chaim. It's not about win or lose. We all lose when they feed on the souls of the innocent, blood-drenched pavement. Keep on moving though the waters stay raging. And in this maze, you can lose your way, your way. It might drive you crazy, but don't let it phase you, no way, no way. 'Cause sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day. Treat people the same. Stop with the violence, down with the hate. One day we'll all be free and proud to be under the same sun, singing songs of freedom like one day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. COVID will go away. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'hamidenu Malkeinu L'chaim. Hashkiveinu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'hamidenu Malkeinu L'chaim. Turn now to the words of our Amidah, standing in body or in spirit, finding your own place of prayer or reflection or creativity, whatever is being sparked in you tonight, whatever it is you need on this Shabbat. We begin with those words, and we know how important words are. That the Amidah begins by saying, please open my lips. And I add, please open my heart so that I can find the prayer I need tonight. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu ve'imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava. Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen. Baruch Ata Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Ata Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Ata Rav Lehoshia. Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofeh Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishene Afar, Michamocha Baal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Mimit, Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua. V'ne'eman ata l'hachayot hakol. Baruch ata Adonai, mechaye hakol. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kedoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch ata Adonai, ha'el HaKadosh. Peace, salam, shalom. 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 May our strength
balanced with the song of God. May our song, balanced with the strength of God, find our way to rescue, to salvation. May it be a life raft. The strength that we find in each other, the strength we find in ourselves. It feels so incredibly good to be looking out at all of you tonight, feeling that strength return. Ozi V'zim'rat Yah. Ozi V'zim'rat Yah. Vayehi li shua. 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 Just have this sense of warming ourselves by a fire, looking up at the stars, looking up at the full moon. And in this time, we are in need of healing, as we heard from our young people and as we know in our own selves. We're not so okay. And so we turn to the Shebeirach tonight. May the one who blesses bring healing of mind and body and spirit to all who are in need. I invite you to put names into the chat if that is available to you, to hold those you are praying for, that you are sending healing energy to in your heart. And as a community tonight, we pray for the healing of Marla Weiner, of Neil Albert, Mike Weinhold, of Debbie Sachs-Bouteau, Marianne Demers, Gina Wong, Janet Akmajian Crawford and Jessica Klein, Matt Figelman, Kathy Grossman, Fred Moses, Teresa Brugman, Adam Gelb, Danny Blair, Joyce. Continued prayers for Roberta Lasky and Roger Landay, Roz Hoffman, Tori Macia, Stanley Roth, Patty Richard, Diana Sanders, Andy Cassell, Harry Manko, Jessica Guertin, Denise Pappas, Joyce and David Adamson, Tom Alexander, for Alan Sandra Levin, for Joyce Catania, for Susan Zimmerman Inney, Arlene Norris, Jeff Wisnia, Deb Midman, Neil Daniels Midman, for Susan Trendall, for Melissa Martin and her daughter, for Pat Lazar, Harriet Levy, Ann Pillow, Judy Donaldson, for Alan and Joanne Travis, for Fiona Sutton, Norman and Fran Waxler, Sue Boardman, Angela Panzone, Nancy Alpert, for Debbie Gilman, Patty Shepard, Jennifer Chase, Ellen Lee, Vicki Oman, for Barbara Cullinane, Elizabeth Wall, Anya Cobble, for Annie Graham and her daughter Sandy, for Rich and Joanne Richmond, for Ken Blumberg, Ayelet Bat Chava Vaher Shmuel, Claude Lieber, Nancy Lazaro Lieber, and for Kathy Nath. Let us join our voices together in the Shebeirach. Shebeirach Avoteinu Avraham Yitzchak veYaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel veLeah uYevarech v'yirapeh et hacholim. Elna Rifana, Elna Rifana la, Elna Rifana, Elna Rifana, Shebeirach Avoteinu Avraham Yitzchak veYaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel veLeah uYevarech v'yirapeh et hacholim. And may all that energy and prayer go where it is needed as we turn to the end of the Amidah, prayer for peace, for wholeness. Oseh Shalom. May the one who makes peace help us to make peace. Oseh Shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. May the one who makes peace above make peace descend on all of us, on all of us, and Yisrael. Let us say Amen. Oseh Shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. May the one who makes peace above make peace descend on all of us, on all of us, and Yisrael. Let us say Amen. Let us say Amen. Let us say Amen. So we turn to our words for Aleinu tonight, an interpretation of it. Hareini Mikabel. I take it upon myself to love my fellow human as I love myself. So we say that word alai. This is what I am taking upon myself. Hareini Mikabel alai et mitzvat haborei ve'ahavta l'reach
Chamocha, Reacha, Chamocha. Hareini mekabelet alai et mitzvat haboreh ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha reacha kamocha. Hareini mekabelet alai et mitzvat haboreh ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha reacha kamocha.
This is for my wonderful brother-in-law, who is no longer with us, Herman Chip Gold, who was a wonderful cardiologist. There are stars. There are stars whose radiance is visible on Earth, though they have been long extinct. There are people whose brilliance continues to light the world, even though they are no longer among the living. These lights are particularly bright when the night is dark. They light the way for humankind. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But these stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways to remember.
Amen. Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
We turn to those lights now. We direct our memory and our communal gaze to the names of those who fill our hearts and our lives, whose remembrance feels particularly bright at this season. If there is somebody you are remembering, somebody whose name you would like shared in our sacred community, I invite you to use the chat function of the technology you're using to join us to share that person's name. This week, we are honoring the deaths of Bell Hooks, Dr. Joe Berman, and Jack Keller. We stand for the yard sites of Senta Raisin and Al Raisin and Milton Stone. And we are in the year of remembrance for Jack Langerman, Gladys Schuker, and Roberta Lipperman. We say Mourners Kaddish in community. And there is much wisdom in saying prayers of remembrance in community. But since it is Poetry Shabbat and in its honor, I thought I would bring you an explanation that touched my heart this week in poetic form. To One in Sorrow by Grace Noel Crow. Let me come in where you are weeping, friend, and let me take your hand. I, who have known a sorrow such as yours, can understand. Let me come in, I would be very still beside you in your grief. I would not bid you cease your weeping, friend. Tears can bring relief. Let me come in. I would only breathe a prayer and hold your hand, for I have known a sorrow such as yours and understand. We become one community with the words of Mourners Kaddish I invite you to rise in body or in spirit, as is your custom. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach hirtei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'galal v'zman kari v'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam u'amei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalau Shemei dekudasha Barechu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiram be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min Shemaya Hareini Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel and all who dwell on earth, and bring a touch of the peace of this evening into our hearts, as which we all say, Amen.
Amen. So next week and the week after, December 24th and December 31st, will both be Zoom services, online services, which will start at 6 p.m. both of those nights. They'll be early services, and we hope you'll join in. Next Friday night, Rabbi Cari and I will be here on the 24th, and on the 31st, mark your calendars, Alicia DePaula will be leading services that night, which is always a tremendous treat for our community. I just want to thank you all for joining in for this annual Winter Solstice Poetry Shabbat, with special thanks to our poets and to Dan Lieber and to Don Abrams for making the tech magic happen as they do. And we're going to end our service singing to our planet, this pretty planet. This pretty planet, spinning through space. You're a garden, you're a harbor, you're a holy place. Golden sun going down, gentle blue giant, spin us around all through the night. Safe till the morning light, this pretty planet, spinning through space. You're a garden, you're a harbor, you're a holy place. Golden sun going down, gentle blue giant, spin us around all through the night. Save till the morning light, this pretty planet, spinning through space. You're a garden, you're a harbor, you're a holy place. Golden sun going down, gentle blue giant, spin us around all through the night. Save till the morning light, all through the